Welcome to Let's Chat with Derick. I am your host, Derick Fage, and pleased to introduce today's guest. She is an actress from Ottawa, now living in LA. Helena-Alexis Seymour joining me on the show today. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a whole new world. It's unprecedented time. So let's start with that because, I've been talking to a lot of people living here in Canada and, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto areas. But
Yeah.
you're living down there in LA. So tell us what isolation, quarantine life has been like for you in Los Angeles.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on in Canada, but for us, it's pretty strict. Like, we're forced to not go out of our homes. If we do, we have to wear a mask, even if we go for walks or ride our bikes. I
Okay.
choose to social distance when I go for walks. Like, I'll go walk in the forest where there's no one around, so I don't have to wear a mask. But I'll wear a mask if I go grocery shopping or if I have to go to the drugstore or something like that. But you can't go to the parks, you can't go hiking, you can't go to the beach. Huntington Beach was open and the public was, being precautious and they were 6 feet apart, but because there were so many people and it's been so hot in Los Angeles, like we've been through a heat wave last week of 95 degrees, that the beaches were so packed that they decided then to close down the beach. And in Huntington Beach, there was a huge protest, so it just made things worse. And the protest people were not social distancing. It was just crazy. We have some rebels over here in LA.
Yeah, I've seen that in different states in the U.S. In particular. Michigan has had some protests. It's been just unbelievable to watch. I'm glad to hear though that they've gone to those lengths in Los Angeles. I mean, here in Ottawa, you don't necessarily have to wear a mask, but if my wife and I, we each have a mask. A friend of ours, Julie Buin, has started her own business making masks. About Face Masks is her new company. So we ordered a couple from her. And so, yeah, if we go out and we're going grocery shopping, that sort of thing, we wear a mask. But like you, if, we're right by the river. So if we go for a walk, we can keep that social distancing. We don't have to wear a mask to take the dogs for a walk or anything like that. So it's nice to see that you have some of that, some nature to get to. Everyone always thinks of LA. They probably don't think there's a lot of spots for you to find some nature, but yeah, I guess you're pretty fortunate you live near some nice spaces.
Yeah, luckily I decided to move right behind the Hollywood sign, so I've got all the forest energy, and I live kind of like just behind the hills, so I could go into the hills and walk my dog if I want to. So it's clean, it's nice. The area is called Burbank, like Ava Toluca Hills is my community, and it's beautiful. I'm really grateful that I picked this location, especially at this time in life.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what brought you to Los Angeles. Obviously, you went there for an acting career. I know that, of course, many people obviously here in Ottawa know your family, know your mom and dad, Angie and Lou, and you're with your mom's company, obviously,
Yeah.
right? Angie's Models International. So, as I understand it, Helena, you weren't necessarily going to take that path in that direction. What eventually led you there?
Yeah, I'm a Gemini, so I like a whole bunch of things, like I can't really choose one thing to focus on. So growing up in the industry, I actually started in beauty pageants because I was super shy. So being on stage and letting my personality shine. I was also in dance. So being on stage allowed me to become more like talkative because I'm an introvert. And then that kind of just led into acting and modeling, and those kind of the next step. And while I was working with my parents' agency, Angie's Models and Talent, I was working behind the scenes with them and really enjoyed the other side and seeing the business side of things. So working behind the desk and, helping models get bookings. And then I did an internship in Milan, Italy at an agency. So really working on the other side. That was a lot of fun. That was in 2006. And so I've had experience through all angles of the industry. And then I've just come back to, I really want to be in front of the camera. Like being behind the camera is really great. And I'm glad that I did. Now I understand it. But being in front of the camera is really my passion. I love acting. I love expressing myself. I love using my voice, my creativity, because I'm super creative. So that's basically what led me into acting. And then working in Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver for so many years. I've been acting since I was 10 years old, and now I'm in my 30s. So it just seemed right to apply for my visa and that Los Angeles would be the next step. Not really thinking that it would happen. That was just a dream of mine. But here I am living my dream, living in Los Angeles.
So, yeah, tell us about the opportunities. Since you've moved to LA, what opportunities have cropped up for you?
It's so interesting. Whenever I was testing out Los Angeles, I was staying at my godmother's place. I'm like, we'll just see if I should live here. I would walk down Venice Beach and this girl chased me down on her skateboard and she's like, hey, you just like walked by us. We're a group of photographers, makeup artists, and we're like creating this really cool shoot and we want you to be the model for it. So I was like, oh,
Really?
so random.
That's so cool.
And got scouted. I was like, okay, universe, like it's a sign that I should be here. So I did this shoot. It was incredible. And yeah, that was one of the signs from God. And then another time I was just biking around going shopping and someone else scouted me for this commercial. So it was kind of just these little signs like, okay, you're supposed to be here. So those are some opportunities. But of course, like I have an agent now. I have a manager. I don't like look for random people to scout me on this shoot.
Although that was quite successful, but yeah, eventually you need a team around you, right?
Absolutely. So since being here, I've worked on a great film called More Than He Knows. That's in the film festival circuits. It's a LGBTQ film. It's doing really well. I also booked a TV series called The Chronicles of Jessica Wu, where I am Jessica Wu. So yeah, it's been really great since I've moved.
Yeah, tell me about Chronicles of Jessica Wu. Tell us about your character because it's a very interesting character. It's very unique, isn't it?
Yes. So Chronicles of Jessica Wu is a TV series about Jessica Wu, who I play. She's autistic. She's on the autism spectrum, and she's also a superhero. And I play her in season 2. So if you watch season 1, there was a previous Jessica Wu, but that didn't work out, so they recast, and luckily I got the job. Yeah, so Jessica, she grew up very nonverbal, didn't want to communicate, didn't want to socialize, and then eventually she just kind of learned martial arts through her stepfather. He was a martial artist, and he taught her how to be more in her body and how to understand her body. And so she just decided, well, with all his martial arts skills, and now she's more verbal and speaking, not much eye contact, but she is speaking. She decided, I want to help save the world. I want to fight crime. So that's what she sets out to do. And it was such a fun character to play. I have kickboxing training. So all the stunts, that's all my own stunts, all my own fight scenes.
Wow, that's amazing.
So much fun. Yeah.
So you had that background in kickboxing, but I imagine then you probably went into some more extensive training. What was that like?
Yeah, so we did a month of stunt work. The trainer kind of combined a little bit of like karate and like Muay Thai and other forms of martial arts with my kickboxing. And with my dance training, I'm great at choreography, so I can remember things. So it just all kind of worked out perfectly. And my kickboxing training was just from Mavati in Ottawa. Okay.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it like every day at Mavati, so I'm really good at it. But thanks to Mavati for the training.
Oh, and so you obviously get to kick ass as this Jessica Wu character. That must be a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. It feels so good to kick ass.
So, I mean, that obviously, getting a start like that. I mean, you hear stories like this crop up every once in a while that's, somebody just found you.
Right.
And now you're in that business. So tell us what maybe behind the scenes, sort of what is it like working in a TV series for those people who've never had an experience like that before?
It's different. I mean, you think that it's all glamorous and that it probably goes by really quick, but it's really long hours. It's really repetitive. You have to do the scene in a wide shot, then a close up, and then maybe some other angles that they think are interesting, or like a shot of your hands, like opening the door. Like one scene can take hours.
Yeah.
And so the whole series, although it was a short, like 10-minute, 15-minute series, kind of like the new Quibi thing that they're doing. So we shot the whole thing in 2 weeks, but we were working all day for those 2 weeks. It was a lot, but it's still a lot of fun. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not what a lot of people think, it's a lot of. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I imagine obviously you've been impacted not just personally, but professionally with the pandemic. Everything I would imagine is at a standstill, Helena?
Everything's at a standstill, except a lot of commercials are thinking outside the box, and they're trying out to do maybe like Skype type video commercials, which you see already on TV. They've already kind of started, but I've had some self-tape auditions where they've been doing that. So I think that's interesting. And they have been doing some self-tape auditions for films because they kind of want to do some pre-production and get the cast they want in mind when things do start up again, they can just hit the ground running.
So have you got anything lined up then once this pandemic is done? What's in store for you?
I actually found out this morning I just booked a commercial.
Oh, you're kidding. Congratulations.
Thank you. So
can you tell us anything about it, or is it sort of, you can't say anything yet?
I'll just say that it's for a bank, a Canadian bank. So you guys will definitely see it in Canada.
Nice.
But I can't really say much else just in case, but
I understand. Now, have they approached you about doing another season of Chronicles with Jessica Wu?
They are writing season 3, and they're trying to create it as more of like a 30-minute episode instead of the short 10-minute Quibi type episodes. So yeah, we'll see from there. And apparently they got the Wu-Tang Clan to help with music. So
no way. That's amazing.
Wu-Tang, I was like, this is so cool. I am excited about that. Yeah.
So are you living by yourself there in LA?
Yes, I moved into my own apartment in September of 2019. So for the past 3 years, I've been in LA since 2017. I was just kind of like short-term staying, like testing out the waters, seeing if the universe really wants me to live here. And because of all the bookings and success and the signs, I was like, okay. So September I moved and I brought my dog with me.
Nice. And I imagine you stayed in contact with your mom, Angie, and your dad, Lou. How are they doing?
They're doing great. And yeah, they're still my agents in Canada. They still get me work in Canada, like that commercial that was there doing. So thanks to them, they're still working for me. And yeah, I speak to them every single day. They're doing well. The agency is doing well. We have our agency in Ottawa and Toronto. So I get auditions for both, even when I'm in LA.
If people want to follow along with your journey in LA, what's the best way to keep in contact with you?
They can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Helena-Alexis, HelenaAlexis.
Excellent. Well, it's been so much fun talking to you. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care of yourself. Be well.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.